October 14th, 2025, and it is 8:35 a.m. here in Chicago. So, I'm going to make a few points, but I'm going to start with Junior the Truth live this morning. Junior the Truth made a point that I wanted to elaborate on or give an example of, but it was too much for me to type in his chat. So I decided I'll make a video and tell the story, because to me it was a really big, I don't know if lesson is the word, but it just kind of lets you know how people operate. And Junior pointed this out this morning. So one of the points that Junior was making, he was talking about being authentic and being your authentic self. And he was saying, be careful not to do a bunch of bullshit. Don't try to disguise a bunch of bullshit or a bunch of nonsense under being authentic. And that really, really resonated with me, because I just got into an argument with someone I'm close to, older than I am, who, and I figured because I've never lied to this person, I'm always honest, and I figured because she brought it up, that was the time to say something. So basically, she was married. Her husband died. While she was married, she and her husband had major issues with her husband's mother. She couldn't stand her husband's mother, and her husband's mother couldn't stand her. And it also affected his relationship with his mother. However, on his deathbed, he asked this person I know to respect his mother. Please respect my mother. Now, if you ask me, that's not a lot to ask, especially since she hasn't had an argument or been in contact or anything with the mother in years. So it shouldn't be hard. There's nothing fresh there, nothing at all. And to top it off, the husband dying should really kind of put a magnifying glass on what's important, and that should make it even easier for you to respect, your husband's wishes. Now, keep in mind, she hasn't seen or heard from the mother in years, but the husband asked, please respect my mother. And he asked in a very kind way. Listen, I know you guys never got along, and I agreed with you on a lot of things, but I'm just asking, please respect my mother. Again, I keep stressing that because I think that that's a wonderful thing for him to request. That's a real man, in my opinion. Just please respect my mother. You don't have to kiss her ass. You don't have to try to build a relationship with her, but just please respect her. Don't have arguments with her or anything. You haven't even, spoken to her in years. Long story short. So, she starts telling me how she learned all of this stuff about how the mother used to treat him, and she barely even raised him, and this person and that person had to raise him, and she wasn't even there for him, and this, that, and the other, and she can't wait. Now listen to this. She can't wait until there's a next big event so that she can go tell them all a piece of her mind and how they weren't even there for him, but now they're full of tears. When I tell you my blood started boiling, I got very upset, and it's not even my situation. I said, didn't he ask you to respect his mother? And this is what's getting to Junior the Truth's point. Her response was, I can't be fake. So she's trying to align her bullshit with being authentic, basically. I can't be fake. So I said, so you were fake on your husband's deathbed? You were fake when he asked you to respect his mother, and you said yes? You can't, both can't be true. Which one will you fake? So she starts telling me, did you not hear me about how she wasn't there for him, this, that, and the other? I said, he knows that. He's the one who told you. He knows better than you do. He doesn't need for you to reiterate that. He asked you to respect his mother. Why would you want to go somewhere now and pick a fight with her? I said, you're nothing but a fucking troublemaker. And God is my witness. That's what I said. I said, you're nothing but a troublemaker. I shouldn't be cursing and then mentioning God. Sorry about that. But I said, you're nothing but a troublemaker. So she got mad because I kept saying it. And the reason I kept saying it is because she kept saying she can't be fake. I said, that has nothing to do with being fake. You're a troublemaker. And so then she finally said, this really has nothing to do with you. And I said, but you brought it up. What are you talking about? I said, I'm responding to you. I didn't bring it up. And I didn't bring it up 6 days later or 6 months later, because I'm not the type of person who, if you tell me something, I don't care what it is. I'm not the type of person who thinks that it's a revolving door. I'm not like that. If you bring something up with me and you want to talk about it, clearly you do because you brought it up. That's when the door is open. I'm not the type to ask you, a week later or a year later, is he still cheating on you, girl? Or, girl, did you ever get your money back? You still call her a friend? I'm not one of those people. I don't believe in revolving doors. When you want to open that door, the door is open. And when that conversation ends, in my mind, the door is closed. I know I'm kind of off topic, but that's how I am. So some people actually think I'm insensitive because I'm not asking for a follow-up. No, that's not it. I don't believe in revolving doors. You told me one time that you had issues with somebody cheating on you or somebody took your money, didn't pay you back, and I was there to talk with you. But if I don't bring it up, it's not that I don't care. It's just not a revolving door to me. So with that being said, when she said to me, this really has nothing to do with you, I said, you're the one who brought it up. I didn't bring it up. You brought it up. I can see if I mentioned it, in 2 weeks or a year later, you're bringing this to me now. I said, you must just want somebody to listen or agree. I don't agree with you. And then I said, how dare you put stress on that woman after your husband's death when he asked you not to? I said, you really need to think of the audacity. I said, how dare you? So with all that being said, that's why it really struck a nerve, or it really made me think when Junior made that point. Don't hide your bullshit and your nonsense and your ignorant behavior behind being authentic, because you notice how her response was how she can't be fake. No, she doesn't care about her husband's wishes. She doesn't care. She wants to start some shit. She needs to go find something better to do instead of harassing old ladies. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Junior was right about that. Don't hide your bullshit and your nonsense and you still thinking you're young and in the streets on being authentic. That has nothing to do with being authentic. You're immature, you're a troublemaker, and you're toxic, So I hope what I said, because maybe I'm the only one who told her this. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not the only one who told her this. But I really, really hope that she does not wait for some big event to go start some shit with that man's mother. I really hope she doesn't do that, because that is too much. I'm sorry, I try not to be judgmental, but that's a little too much of a character flaw for me. I'm sorry. You got to draw the line somewhere. Omar? Wasn't that Omar on The Wire who said everybody needs to have a code? I know he said every man, but everybody needs to have a code. And I got to draw the line right there. If you're the type of person where somebody who you loved and you had children with is on his deathbed and he's asking you to respect somebody that you don't even run into, how easy is that? You got one job and you still insist on going and creating some fucking problems for an elderly person who lost her son. I'm sorry, I got to draw the line there. I ain't going to want to have nothing to do with your ass. You're toxic, That shit had really pissed me off. But I was going to talk about other stuff. I'll do it in a next video. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your Tuesday.